Next, Fowzie, sir, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I am glad I have this opportunity to express my views on the constitutional proposals currently being debated. As a long-time member of the Sri Lankan Parliament and having served as a cabinet minister in the past under different governments and state minister in the present government, I can as well share with you how my beloved country and me cope with issues created by the Constitution of 1972 and then 1978, and through 19 amendments that have been effected to the JRJ Constitution, which we are now trying to replace. Madam, it is not my intention to go into minute details of the constitutional provisions which we are trying to enact. My fellow colleagues in the Parliament have gently argued for and against the proposals on the major proposals, including the nature of the state, principle of devolution, state land, electoral system, and not the least on the executive part of the proposal. The reason our government is showing keenness to have a totally new constitution instead of just introducing more burdensome amendments to the already defective constitution is known to many. Since 1978 till 2015, this constitution has prevailed as the principal legal documents for governance in Sri Lanka for 39 long years, and with recent amendments such as the 19th and now the 20th amendment under discussion to be included. The Constitution continues to lengthen. Surprisingly, we Sri Lankans still seem content to follow all the laws laid out by the very Constitution that has done major damage to the unity of the people, while continuing and spreading malicious statements in setting up a new constitution altogether. Therefore, our party in the Yapala government, recognizing the damages inflicted by the 1978 Constitution, plus the amendments that have created chaos and mayhem in the past, have firmly decided to move for the new Constitution. As we are all aware that the first two Republican Constitutions were partisan, were not supreme, and suffered from the basic flaws. Example, one, they were designed to promote the political vision and ideology of the party in power. Two, they entrenched rather than countered rule by majority. And third, they were designed with the convenience of the executive rather than the empowerment of the people as their primary motivation or rationale. Since our independence, one burning issue we have yet proven unsuccessful is solving the, has been forging a national identity. Since 1948, ethnic and religious disharmony has increased. Insurrections and civil wars ensued, and most citizens still live in suspicion of their Sinhala, Muslim or Tamil neighbors. From 1948 till 2015, Sri Lanka has shed far too much blood for causes that could have easily been avoided. Seen too many of its children die unnecessarily. Too many mothers, painful cries of woe echoing throughout this small island. Sri Lanka's violent history should speak volumes of the need to urgently mend the severed ties between its people and unite all the citizens under one nation. The first legal step in this regard then is to present a new constitution. This time from the bottom up, with participation from Sri Lankan citizens, to include all diverse opinions of the country and present a constitution worthy of its name. It is pointless to argue one mere hidden meanings of terms such as Ekiya Rajya in Sinhala and or Urmuttinadu in Tamil, as if these will lead to federalism. per se. Neither it is appropriate to say that the northern Tamils will separate on the basis of the constitution under federalism. I begin to wonder if Prabhakaran, with all his charisma and might, waged war on our government for 30-odd years, had failed to establish a separate state, and that the Tamils would achieve the same purpose through the constitution. At no time in history will our governments ever facilitate such secession, and the constitution is tightened all nooses in letter and spirit against any talks of separatism, either in the national parliament or at the level of the provincial councils. The implementation of the 13th Amendment has been manipulated by the political regimes in Colombo to achieve their power objectives. Instead of developing power as stipulated in the Constitution, successive governments were engaged in decentralization of the powers already given. During the last 22 years, provincial councils were never given the necessary public space to justify with their relevance to the Sri Lankan polity. Finally, both proactive and reactive politics involving the provincial councils system during the last 2 decades have made the provincial council yet another extended apparatus of the centralized governance system initiated by the 1978 Constitution. If provincial councils are given the opportunity and resources, they could also act as instruments to lift Sri Lanka's underdeveloped areas that will make devolution attractive to people outside the north and east as well. Sinhalese, Tamils and Muslims living outside Sri Lanka